Hi everyone, it's Desiree. I hope we are all doing well and welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. As always, this is going to be one of those long videos, but it's also a hop. So make sure you stay to the end to get all of the fun details. And yes, there will be a giveaway as always. You can see here I've got a couple of Scrappy Tails products here. This is from Sabrina's newest release, Classic Horror, and it is wonderful. I will make sure I also link down to the, I'm going to call it a haul video where I showcase these dies. And then I'm also going to link back to Sabrina's YouTube so that you can see all the wonderful creations that were made using these dies to give you just awesome inspiration. One of the components that I love, all the components, I'm just going to be honest with you, but the one that is just, if I have to pick a top one, it is definitely the Edgar Allan Poe, The Raven, Nevermore. All of these collections, classic horrors, just bring back a lot of memories for me with me and my grandmother. We used to watch them all the time. So here are the two sets. This here is the Nevermore cover plate. And I'm sure some of these pieces are sitting on here. I have the funny feeling because I was just having way too much fun die cutting. This here is the Nevermore accessories. So these are your pieces that you get here. The layering skull, the candlestick, this beautiful raven, gorgeous frame with the skulls on each side, the sentiment Nevermore, and some more ravens over here. And then this here is the cover plate. So awesome with that, to the point where she has also provided the cutouts as die cut layers for the piece. So this is perfect with her book pop-up die that she came out with a while ago. These are all add-ons that she's creating for it, and they are magnificent. I'm going to show you, however, a different way to make a book by simply using two 5x7 card bases. So this is going to make it just a little bit flatter. It's not going to have the pop-up mechanism into it, and you might find it's easier to mail if you have that someone who absolutely loves the classic horrors. Just going to grab one thing. Okay, sorry about that. Needed to grab some double-sided tape, and you're going to hear my door slam. Sorry about that. All right, so let's start by getting our card bases together. So I'm going to take one, and I'm going to add some double-sided tape to each of the edges. And I'm going to get close to the edge as I can without going over. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do that, but you know, hey, here's trying. And then I will come in with my glue, my liquid adhesive. I'm going to make sure I push these down. And I'm going to remove the release paper completely. And you can see I've got all of my die cuts going on here. Now, I'm going to make sure that I've got the card open the correct way. And now I'm just going to come in with my liquid glue just along those edges, just a little bit more. And then add some glue in the center. And then I'm going to take this one, again, making sure that it's open, and I'm just going to set it right on top. And get that down there. And then we're going to pinch these two together. So what we've created is our own little tiny book. So here, it'll open here. This will be a lot thicker, and then we have these two, and then here. So really, you have 6 sides, and this is our thickness here. And now we're just going to have fun decorating this. First, I do want to get my die cuts together. So let me grab, I always like to grab a scratch pad. And for the pieces that I'm working on, just get those up here. I think it helps you to see them just a little bit. And we are going to start putting these together. So real-time crafting here. We are just going to have some fun. I am going to double up on a lot of these pieces. I do want them to be just a little bit sturdier. I did use, especially for the black, and we're going to see a lot of that here, black cardstock. I did use a 110 pound. And there goes my printer, of course. It likes to just wake itself up right when I'm filming. But I did double these up. I do apologize for that. You know, my printer, it does it every single time. It just likes to run. It's kind of funny. But it also tells me that it's working. So here I've double layered the candlestick, and I'm going to make the candles themselves purple. So the colors are going to be very muted for these pieces. So purple, just splashes of purple, and a quick splash of red is going to come in. I want to move that over just a little bit there. And we've got some silver, lots of browns for the page and for the pages. And I'm okay that that one is smaller. Again, we don't go for perfection. I am going to grab an orange alcohol marker real quick. And I'm just going to come up and add just a few flicks. I think when I was die cutting, I shifted there just a little bit. So just to give them some color. All right, we can set those aside. I'm going to work on these Nevermores. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them all, but I do want them ready. And I was also not sure if I wanted to use the ivory. You can tell that I really liked the way the ivory looked on the black background, or if I wanted to go with the purple. So just going to get that set. And then we'll get our other two. So Sabrina does a lot of course, all of you know, die cutting. And it's like paper piecing when it comes to her die cuts. In this one, she actually did some layering dies with the skulls, which is what we'll get to next. So that is really cool. And these skulls are kind of, well, they are cool, not kind of. So this does have a, and I do like to say, a classic feel. to it. Not so much creepy, but it's definitely not on the cutesy side. Here are the layering pieces. So we've got our base, and then our next one. And we're just going to line that up. I wrap my fingers around. And we'll do the next base for the other one. Again, wrap the fingers around and then push down. And then the top layer. I think the top layer looks really cool on its own, because it's just that piece, and she gives you all the lines that it sits at. And I just think that is really cool. Went with warm colors for the skulls. And then we'll get this one set. As always, I die cut more than what I need, because wasn't quite sure how often or how much I was going to decorate each of the pages. So what my thought process was and is for this is to create a card that if somebody wanted to journal in, they could. So it's like a mini journal, but we're not using, you know, any papers. It's going to be that double cardstock base. And then you'll see the bases that we'll use. So each of the skulls are 3 layers when it comes to our individual ones. And now we're going to put our top layer on. Yeah, I just love these. Absolutely love them. I think they are just great. Can do these in so many different colors. I mean, you could even do these like in rainbow colors. Yes, why not? Nobody says that we have to use Halloween colors. We can have just a lot of fun with it and make the image your own. All right, so that's those 4 there. So I did do 2 extra ones because we have this mirror frame. Now we're going to keep that purple on the top. And I'm going to use a black heavyweight to put this down, just to give it some strength. I'm really hitting the edges when I have a die like this, when it's this intricate. I just make sure that I hit that edge and any scrolls. And then come in, and I'm going to layer that up. You could offset this if you wanted. And then I just pinch it just to line it up. And then you can see the skulls will actually sit right here. But I'm going to ink that first before I put anything on that. And then I have a mirror background for it. All right, let's work on our sentiments. I die cut these twice, again out of thick, heavyweight cardstock. And I love the fact that she even has the New York 1845. Edgar Allan Poe was one of my favorite, and still is, when I was going through high school. Yep, that's many decades ago. And it's funny, when I was watching Sabrina's showcase, you know, she was saying, you know, Stephen King too. Yep, me too. Love Stephen King. Very big fan of Stephen King. And I'm just amazed. Every year he comes out with a new book. So I'm just double layering these. Again, these were cut by 110-pound cardstock. And we're just getting those set up. These, I'm going to use these kind of, while they can be considered sentiments, I'm actually going to use them like ephemera to decorate the book. And here we have the raven. And you can die cut these, you know, as many times as you want. You can even just die cut it once. You don't have to always double layer. I do just like the dimension and what that brings. All right, so now we have all of those together. And I have a couple of excuse me, more crows here. Or, excuse me, ravens. And then I have some silhouettes here. I'm going to get this layered. So I die cut these from the brown for the branches. And then I'm going to layer the raven on top. So I'm going to have a couple of these. That's one, and then there is a larger one here. And I'm just making sure I get along these beautifully detailed feathers. And then same thing, we're going to line that up where the raven is. And just pinch along the sides to get that in place. There we go. I hope everyone's having a great day and enjoying the hump. Make sure you check out the hump. All right, now this is the, this is what's going to sit on the mirror. So I'm going to double this up, definitely. And then for the beak, I chose red. And this is the only spot where I'm putting the red. But I did just want to have that pop of color. These colors will change because I am going to be inking around these pieces. Just to give them even more depth. And then for the eyes, I'm going to come in with my gel pen and fine liner. So that's that one. We'll put him up there. And now, what I'll refer to as the centerpiece. I die cut this twice from heavyweight cardstock. Again, I'm just making sure that I hit the end of these branches. And going up those legs, coming off the end of the feathers. And now I'm going to set this down on top. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. That's just going to add to that dimension. Now, for this one, I'm just going to glue these layers together just to have a spare skull. And then I can set that aside. And I just think that is awesomely cool. And then I have the other one to place on here. I think, though, first I'm going to get my branches in place. So I'm going to put my glue down. And now we're going to come in with the branches. Just want to add that brown tone to them. Using my pickup tool. Makes it a lot easier. And I think I just have, yeah, that one. So you can see very muted colors. I mean, these are, there's a lot of black. And I also have some extra branches in case I wanted to pop them anywhere throughout the project. And now we're going to layer up the skull. So the skull, of course, is part of this beautiful masterpiece. But you can see it can very much stand on its own. And then we'll come in with this last layer. And we want to pop out some of those pieces there. And we'll place that down. Now, there is a piece too for the feet. I did not die cut that. I didn't want it to curve over this, so I'm okay that the feet are behind that skull. I'm good with that. Okay, so now these are all of our pieces. All right, so let me just set that to the side real quick. I'll put this up here as well, and our mirror frame. And let's pull in, so this is also part of the cover plate die set. Again, available individually, and I'm going to go around them with scorched timber. And we're just going to ink the edges. I am going heavy-handed because I just really do want this to stand out. And we're going to do each of these. So just real quick, using a blending tool, going around the sides, making this horrible noise for you to hear. But I do enjoy doing a video when we're creating in real time. I think you can see just how long a card can take to make. Now, of course, I didn't show the die cutting. I had all of that done before the video. And the die cutting went, you know, pretty quick. I'm going to say it did take me about an hour to do the die cutting. And I think a lot of that time is trying to figure out, okay, what colors. Now, I know what you're saying. Okay, well, Des, you chose black. You chose black. Black, yep. I did. But there's also, you know, I'm looking for this specific shade of the grays. I wanted them to be warm. I didn't want them to be cool. Now, I just added a lot of scorched timber to that so that it pushed that purple back. It's not as bright, which is exactly what I was looking for. You could also use black soot if you wanted to, you know, whatever you're looking for. I'm going to go around the base of the skulls and just lightly tapping around the skulls. Not adding too much. And same thing, I have extra skulls here. There's a piece that I forgot to glue onto my raven, and that's the beak. This one is going to be purple. Again, these are those pops of color. I am going to pull this one in, and I do want to go around that red, again, pushing it back, but you still see that pop of color, and then the same thing on the purple, just pushing her back just a little bit. I'm going to pull back in this frame, and we are going to put the skulls in place. And notice I have not used any double-sided foam. You certainly can And honestly, usually I would. So you can see what that's going to look like. And then we're going to put that there as well. Okay. All right. We have our pieces set. They are all ready to go. Okay. So let's put our pages together. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to worry about is if the page is sitting the same on each one of our sections. And I do apologize for that noise of the glue. But I do want to get set one of these onto each section. Because this is going to be, this really is the backdrop. So with just two 5x7 card bases, you're essentially creating a card, yes, but also your own style or another style of a journal. And I am going to put one on the very back. And of course that's going to jam up. And then our last one. Oh my. But that's okay. I've got something on that table there. Not quite sure what it is. But the majority of it is going to be covered by our panel here. So no need to worry. And we just have a few specks, and that's okay. All right, so here it is, and that's what it's done so far. And you can see it's going to be able to stand upright. All right, so let's decorate the back first. I know on the back, I am simply going to put my New York 1945, and I'm going to center that along the bottom. And then I'm going to put the Edgar Allan Poe going across here. And I'm going to try to line that up. You all know me. I don't measure. I just go for it. Okay. So that's what we've got. Now we'll get the Allen down. There we go. Got rid of some of that glue. Now you could certainly use a ruler if you wanted to make sure that these are straight. There we go. So that pretty much is our back. Edgar Allan Poe, New York, 1845. Did I say 1945 before? I think I did. Okay, now I am going to grab a piece of copy paper. There we go. Okay, so here's our front. This, of course, is going to sit on the front. And I'm going to have the raven come across the bottom. So let's get that down first. And then our other pieces here are going to sit above that. So it's kind of going to be the way that we ground this. Because now I'm going to bring that down right there. And again, just making sure to go to the edges of those branches. And then we're going to set this down right above it. And we're just going to push so that we can get that adhered. Now I have these silhouette ravens. And I'm just going to add those as well. There we go. Just to fill in that spot there. All right, so we have that so far. Now, when we turn our page, we have all of these wonderful areas. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of the Nevermores and I'm going to set that along the top. And that's a spot where your message could be written, or your recipient could write down, journal something here, or put a picture there if they wanted to. On this side, I'm going to put the, no, I'm going to put the skull and my candelabras. So I'm going to put my candelabras here. And I think I really like that skull. So I think I'm going to put that one there as well as this one and this one. So we're going to have them come across. Matter of fact, I think, let me get the candelabras down first. So we're kind of doing this whole embellishing throughout our card. All right, so now that we have them there, I'm wondering, do I want to go that way, and that way? Nope. I definitely want to go this way. Get that down. And since that's raised up a little bit, I'll be able to take this one and tuck him in underneath there. And then we'll be able to take this one and tuck him in right there. And I think I'm going to take that little guy and leave that alone. Now we're going to turn our page. And here is where we're going to put our mirror. Again, coming in on the edges, so that in case they lift, and then all throughout the center. And we're just going to put that right in the center. Going to put our mirror cardstock down. And then our raven. So now that is set. I'm going to take the other Nevermore and I'm going to put that to the bottom, but just a little bit up. Because for this one, we're going to push that up there. And then I'm just going to real quick flip my page here. I really just like that looking like that. And I'm going to add one of the skulls. And I'm going to place that right there. And then I have one of the ravens left, and I'm going to put that there. And let's see. Of course, I want to get this one in as well. And I'm going to have that one coming in right there. So you can have fun placing your pieces. Going to have that go up into the sentiment as well. And there you can see that she will stand. And again, it's just taking 2 of your 5x7s. Now we want to, or at least what I want to embellish are the eyes. So I am going to come in with my jelly roll. I like to prime it. I don't like that one. There we go. I like to prime it on my finger. And what I'm going to do is fill in the white area. And just on the ravens that I'm doing this, and I'm tapping. I'm just tapping along these areas to get it to fill in. You can hear me tapping there. And you can tell I'm getting a good layer of the white. And we're going to do the same thing for these guys. For this one, I'm going to leave it alone because the sentiment actually has got that covered. I don't know if that's showing up there. And nothing on the back. So we are going to place cardstock there. And I'm going to use some of her gems. So she's coming out, or she came out with lots of gem packs, as always. And I want to use the black for the eyes. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue, pick up one of these gems, and set that right in there. So there's just going to be a little bit of the white coming out, not too much. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. A dab of glue. And then just setting that in there as well. Again, that's some of the glue there, so that'll dry. And then for this one, I'm just going to come in with my fine liner. And I think I need a finer liner than that one. He is a finer liner. And I'm just going to come in with some of the black. Here we go. Okay. And there we go. So, yes, long time, but you saw all the die cutting put together. You saw how we put our book together. And you got to see how you can take die cuts and make a different style of a card. Again, your message can be written through here, or your recipient can add photos and journal inside when it comes to the decorating, and even on the back. So, great die set. Absolutely love it. You can see that it will stand up beautifully, and the way, depending upon how you stand it, you'll be able to see inside. So, just a different way to create yet another book. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. As always, I will give you a link to Sabrina's shop and also her YouTube channel. Please check that out to see how she comes up with all of her creations featuring her collections. But I will link down to her shop. I will link down to the 2 sets that I used for our project today if you wanted to check them out. Remember, this is a hop though. So make sure you hop along with us through the Instagram hop. Have fun being inspired by so many wonderful other designers on her design team. And as you hop along, you'll have a chance to win one of 2 $25 gift cards to the Scrappy Tails shop. All right, the hop is going to end on 9/6 at 11:59, meaning for everyone you go to, you want to make sure that you comment. All right, make sure you subscribe, and that's how you can get entered. You can be entered in multiple times, and the winner will be announced right around the 7th of September. So make sure that you hop along with us, be inspired, look at the wonderful, beautiful creations. Wait till you see some of them. Yeah, I get to have that sneak peek. They are wonderful. But most of all, enjoy. Have fun creating your art. Just have fun with the process. But remember what's most important, guys. Always be creative at everything that you do every day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will talk to you in the next video. But until then, take care.